Hello everyone, and this is Beastly EO, and in today's video we're going to be doing a Marvel character spotlight on a mutant that is not well known. Potentially somebody we could see in the future? Who knows? His name is Joshua Foley, aka Elixir. So, in the very beginning of his time, he was actually one of the characters created in 2003. Josh joined the Ravers, Reavers, I might be pronouncing that wrong, which was an anti-mutant group led by Donald Pierce at the behest of his um, then best friend Duncan. When Cerebra detected a mutant in the area, Moonstar and Karma was sent to investigate. Meanwhile, the anti-mutant group engaged a group of students from Xavier in a fight. Josh discovered he was a healer by healing one of his fellow team members. By knocking him out, he was able to hide this for a short time until he felt compelled to heal the injured Laurie Collins. Laurie developed a crush on him as a result. When his anti mutant group discovered that Josh was actually a mutant with healing powers, they rejected him and retreated. Angrily rejecting Moonstar's offer to go to the X Mansion, he went home to find his fellow anti mutant group waiting for him, where they delivered a severe beating to him. And when his parents discovered he was a mutant, he was then disowned. Well, he had nowhere else to go, so where else do you go if you're a mutant? Well, he went to the Xavier Institute. He was paired with David Anally as a roommate, a situation that neither of them found appealing. He started to make friends there. Unfortunately, as time went on, people started to realize who he was, or who he used to be, I should say, um, part of an anti-mutant group. And unfortunately, because of that, a lot of them didn't like him. So during one of their instances, Surge woke up Elixir, and Laurie kept him calm long enough for him to heal his own wounds. There was one side effect, though, which shocked Elixir: his golden skin. This was possibly due to Elixir activating a secondary mutation in himself, and Danny Moonstar theorized that Elixir had turned his skin because he wanted to be the Golden Boy, which is very interesting. So later on, he was following the mansion's destruction and reconstruction. Cyclops and Emma Frost decided to organize the older students into six-member training groups. Josh was put into Danny's New Mutant Squad and was given the code name Elixir. During one of their fights, he actually caused a lot of damage to a lot of people. In fact, accidentally killing. Sorry, I apologize. Da, 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 da. State made both. Oh, I apologize. Um, at certain points, he got into a fight and caused a lot of damage, and Emma Frost was not happy with his performance. And because of that, she actually kicked him out of the group. During on M Day, the vast majority of the world's mutants population was depowered. Elixir was one of only 27 students to retain their powers. Emma Frost, fearing their safety, ordered that the depowered students and staff leave the institute. Josh's guardian, Moonstar, now depowered, was among those who had to leave, and for them to escape, they actually had to go into the Murloc tunnels to get an awaiting bus to get them back where they needed to be. The bus of depowered students, however, was bombed by an anti-mutant zealot, Reverend William Stryker, killing 42 of the former students on board. The remaining students placed were placed by Emma Frost into an all-out brawl, and the ones deemed the best by Emma would become a group of new X-Men in training. Josh made the team and began training to become an X-Men. Meanwhile, Stryker consulted his vision and decided that the Omega threat will be next, while holding a picture of Josh and Laurie. During one of their training missions, the new X-Men sparred with Colossus, caught up with his emotions um, over students being killed as a result of Stryker's bus attack. Josh hit the powered down Colossus over the head with a metal beam. Now, Emma Frost was furious with him again and kicked him off the team temporarily. During this time, however, um, the team was he considered that the team was just about violence and fighting, and Elixir could do such a beautiful thing. However, Josh told Laurie that he had tried to heal DJ and could feel him dying, and with his life bleeding out of him, he took a piece of him with him. A piece of him died too. And at that moment, Laurie was killed by a gunshot fired by Matthew Hisman, an agent of Stryker. Laurie's body and a distraught Josh were found by several X-Men and students. When Wolverine tried to restrain Josh and Laurie's from Laurie's body, his mutant power manifested and caused painful boils and blisters to appear on Wolverine's hands and wrists. When Stryker began to attack on the Institute, Josh sat unresponsive in the infirmary. However, Josh came to his senses and was enraged over the death of Laurie and the other students, killed Stryker by using his powers to cause massive swellings and organ failure inside of Stryker. This action had the unforeseen result of turning his skin from golden to black, and Josh fell into a catatonic state. During a battle with Nimrod, X-23 was badly wounded and was not able to heal. Josh had to get over the fact of his past and successfully healed Laura. However, his skin returned to a gold color, although there were still some black parts that remained on his skin. During other times, apparently, when the during the moment in time where students were actually stuck in limbo, which was another dimension, the Stepford's cuckoos helped Elixir learn advanced human anatomy, physiology, and biology by telepathically copying information from Beast's mind into his own. This allowed him to use his powers greater than he could ever imagine. He eventually um, joined the X Force at one point, and unfortunately, in the aftermath of the death of Wolverine, Elixir was captured by the same individuals that had captured X-23, Sabretooth, Daken, Lady Deathstrike, and Mystique, as they were still stuck. He was still stuck in his black form. He was unable to rouse Mystique after Sharp knocked her unconscious with his trigger words. However, this proved to be unnecessary as Mystique had already recovered and was just um, faking unconsciousness. When Siphon attacked the group shortly after, Elixir tried to use his killing powers to stop him. However, that had no effect, and Just was quickly overwhelmed. Laura insisted that they needed help, but Creed refused and demanded Sharp release them. Sharp, his team, and the captives then scattered to escape. Several months later, Josh was welcomed to a church, sorry, not the church, to a church, where he worked with a helper in order to figure out who he was. When the Dark Riders began to crusade against mutant healers, Magneto's X-Men pinpointed him as a high-risk potential target and tried to convince him to leave with them. Before he could finish talking to them, the church was attacked by the Dark Riders. Several of Josh's friends were killed in the front yard, prompting him to go outside the building and resurrect them in panic. When he was bringing them back to life, Elixir was sniped down. Because of the nature of Josh's powers, however, he did not remain dead long. Regenerating in his grave before making his way back to Genosha, emotionally and mentally unstable as a result of the experiences, he tested his expanding powers by torturing the Dark Riders, resurrecting them, and killing them over and over again. Magneto and his team discovered his survival and tracked him down, eventually taking him to one of the medical centers where mutants were being treated for MPOC, a disease that mutants were getting. Josh was able to completely heal the mutants there, but the rush of destroying the disease ravaged him and led him nearly drained of life. And then X-Men, when they tried to stop him, fortunately they were able to reach and stop him. Um, Josh was taken to Zorn's retreat in hopes that the mutant could help Josh come to terms with the tragedies and gain control of his powers. When a group comprised of Havoc, Emma Frost, Miss Sinister, and Bastion spread the power bestowing virus, Mothervine, on a global scale to create the sudden growth in mutants across the world, Magneto enlisted Elixir's help to patrol every Mothervine impacted zone and reverse its effects. Joshua was subsequently taken to that group's base, where he was neutralized all samples of the Mother Vine serum. Not long after, Magneto decided to return his previous ruthless methodology to ensure mutants' survival. As part of this approach, he established the new Brotherhood of Mutants, and Elixir was one of its members. Sometime later, Elixir became a member of Emma Frost's new Hellfire Club. When Josh awaited outside a clothing store with Vanisher, they were surrounded by General Kalana and the soldiers of the Office of National Emergency. Emma came out of the store with Marrow while Callahan held Josh and Vanisher at gunpoint. He had conversation with Frost was not holding up her end of the bargain. This led to Vanisher getting shot by a bullet filled with a cure serum created by Beast. Vanisher's body turned into a goo substance, while Elixir tried everything he could with his healing abilities, but there was nothing strong enough to save him. Elixir brought a note and some flowers from Callahan to Emma, thanking her for locating Cassandra Nova for them. Josh asked why she was helping the general hunt down their own kind, and Emma replied that she didn't enjoy it. And when the time came, Callahan would get what was coming to him. And all of a sudden, Emma told Elixir to grab Marrow as they were about to depart. Josh stood outside of a diner while Emma talked to a revived Cyclops who didn't know Emma was there because she cloaked herself from him. Elixir was next seen in the Hellfire Club's parking garage when Mystique, disguised as Captain America, brought a captured Miss Sinister there. While there was some small talk between the group, Elixir looked over and noticed Wolverine and Quanon appearing to break up the party. In the House of X comics, following the foundation of the sovereign nation state of Kroka, by the hands of Charles Xavier and his allies, Elixir became a member of the Five, a group of mutants capable of combining their powers into the process of resurrection. The Five together were able to create new cloned bodies of the deceased mutants, restoring their bodies, their powers, and their memories, and they were at the time of their deaths. The Five were considered as something sacred to be treasured. Xavier tasked the Five with resurrecting Marvel Girl, Cyclops, Husk, Archangel, Penance, Mystique, Wolverine, Nightcrawler, who died stopping the creation of Nimrod. The Five had previously resurrected other long deceased mutants such as Banshee and Sophie and Esme Cuckoo. And that was the last we heard of Joshua Foley. Like I said, this was a character that was created in 2003 and has been a character that's been in the comics for a while. His powers include he's considered an Omega level healer, and during M Day, he was only considered a general threat until later they saw his abilities of destruction. He was actually an orange flagged um, mutant during those times. He has biokinesis, he has the capability of controlling biological structures of his own and other people's bodies down to the genetic level. He uses it for healing, resurrection, regeneration, and self-resurrection as well. He has life force manipulation, and at first, Josh only possessed the ability to sense and detect life forces, such as when he was able to heal Mark Shepard dying, sensing his life bleeding out of him. Later on, he learned how to transfer life force from one person to another, as he did with Wolfsbane and her unborn child. After rebirth, Josh demonstrated the ability to control, manipulate, and absorb life forces of other living creatures. Genetic detection, he has the ability to detect abnormalities in living beings. He also has the death touch. He can use his powers to harm others to cause several different types of illnesses, which is what we saw when he killed Stryker. Um, he also has a second mutation, which apparently is his skin. After use of his mutant powers to heal himself, his skin turned a golden color. This was possibly due to his second mutation in himself. His skin would normally remain golden, but if he uses his powers to damage or kill, his skin turns a deep metallic black. And Prodigy theorized that it was also altered his brain chemistry as well. This appeared to be completely an involuntary reaction, and it has been stated that Elixir has a hard time converting from black to golden. However, there have been times where his skin has gone back to his normal coloration as well. Due to his psychic data transfer by the Stepford Cuckoos, Kukos. Using the knowledge of beasts, Elixir now possesses genius level understanding of human and mutant biology, anatomy, genetics, physiology, and medicine. His weaknesses are his powers limitations. Using his powers for extreme feats can wear him out, causing him to collapse, and his own mental illness can cause him to cause massive destruction as well, which is something that really needs to be in check. As always, the power grid for Marvel is out of 7, so his intelligence is a 4 because he is gifted. His strength is a 2 because it's normal. His speed is a 2 because it is normal. His durability is a 2, which bothers me because he can resurrect himself. But that's what they're phrasing. His energy projection is a 2 because it's only on contact, and his fighting skills are a 3 because he has some training. Overall, Elixir is an interesting mutant that would be great to see in the MCU. Also, a great use of seeing mutants dealing with their powers and how their emotional state really changes how their powers operate, which would be kind of cool to see in live action. Something that we really haven't had to see, gotten to see, I should say, in live action so far. So overall, let me know if there's a character you'd like me to do a character spotlight on in the comments down below. Um, and as always, if you like the content you see, please like and subscribe down below. Other than that, this is going to be Beastly Eel signing out. Have a great night.